So if you want to be taken seriously as a businesswoman, then you have to dress the part. This were some unsolicited words of advice that I received from a businessman after attending an event with some sparkly shoes. Our special guest today has a few things to say about what determines your serious style. Stay tuned.
It's time to be kind with Marley Q.
Because the time to be kind to ourselves, each other, and the world is now.
Welcome to the show, wardrobe stylist and founder of Serious Style, Paola Arencibia. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to get a chance to chat with you.
Yes. So not just chat with me now, but you came into my home for like 6 hours or something like this and completely like transformed not just my closet, but even the way that I look at style. So I want to like dive right into our conversation because I have a little bit of trauma when it comes to like styling and fashion and clothing that I opened up and I shared with you. Right. I've never felt very confident like with my clothes and my ability to go shopping and pick out like this great outfit for myself. I've really always relied on my sister. I'm like the middle child. So I was like the product of hand-me-downs and friends who would like lend me their dresses for homecoming or prom in school. And I never really like had any help in this department. And now as a businesswoman and as a quote kindness influencer, I really wanted to kind of elevate that style. And I wanted to really just kind of get over all the stuff that told me that I didn't really know how to like dress myself and be stylish, right? Because those were all just like past experiences. And I just wanted to first say thank you for holding space for me to like having shared kind of some of what has gotten in the way in the past, and you holding space with kindness, and also like coming back like, listen, kindness is serious business.
Yeah.
You remember when you said that to me?
Absolutely. And I think
I picked up a pen and I wrote it down. I'm like, kindness is serious business. So I wish that I would have had that phrase to respond to back when I attended an event and I was doing like a pitch style kind of event to pitch my business, which is to spread kindness worldwide. And this man, after I spoke, kind of came up to me and gave me unsolicited and rather I've found to be unkind advice. He's like, if you want to be taken seriously as a businesswoman, then you have to dress the part. And I'm here having lunch and he says this to me and I'm like, are you talking about my sparkly shoes? Like, are my sparkly shoes offending you? Right? And I kind of just laughed it off, right? And we kept going, but that kind of stayed in my mind. So when you said to me, kindness is serious business, I was like, that's what I should have told that guy. Kindness is serious business and it doesn't mean that I have to be. So just thank you for changing my mindset on style and what it means to show up in business, like confidently and seriously ready to show up and make an impact.
Well, I appreciate that so much. You're saying that. And I do want to say thank you to you because I know how vulnerable it is to allow someone into your closet and into your home and among your family. And by the way, my cat has been quiet all day and has now decided to show up. She felt the camera, so I apologize in advance for her cameo appearance here.
She's welcome. She's welcome to make time to be kind with Marley Q. What's your cat's name?
Sila.
Sila, thank you. She's welcome. Now I'll keep it down.
A lot of things came to mind when you were telling that story about somebody commenting on your shoes or just on you thought it was about your shoes, but just commenting on your wardrobe. It's a mixed bag because at the same time, it can be the kind of comment that could really be inappropriate or just not welcome in any scenario. But when it sticks with us, it does make us question things. And it really speaks to the heart of why I'm doing what I'm doing, which is if we feel that sense of ownership and we feel that sense of kindness to ourselves, we become a bit impermeable to a lot of the negativity that could be thrown our way. I mean, and that's not to say that this is a cure-all, but I think particularly we as women, I mean, men suffer this too, but I do specialize with women. There's nothing that I can say that a woman doesn't understand intuitively of how the fashion industry, clothing, our wardrobe, the way we dress, the way we walk into a room, how it affects right at the core of our self-esteem and how we project ourselves. And however it is that you want to dialogue with that, right? So again, I'm always really appreciative when women allow me into their closets because I know that they're kind of like giving me a sneak peek into a whole history of how they have represented themselves, wanted to represent themselves, and definitely how they talk to themselves. And the kindness or the lack of kindness that we use, particularly when we're getting dressed, how triggered we get by that little number on that tiny little tag, and how that translates to how we move through the world. So my absolute privilege in working with you and in working with all my clients is to be able to reframe. It's not really so much, it's not the shopping, right? Like, I mean, and you can attest to that, because I'd love to hear more about, now that you've reflected on it, not the shopping and not the getting new clothes and not getting the right clothes, but reframing it in a way so that you realize just how much ownership you have over that whole industry that tries to get into our minds in a way that sometimes tears us down. And something else I wanted to say about kindness being serious business, I was reflecting on something that you mentioned, because you had been with some school children when I saw you, and how you have to get really firm with that in order to allow the right environment for kindness to grow. And I think the same is true with the way that we talk to ourselves. Kindness is serious business, but also kindness comes with a lot of discipline, and you have to be firm, but we have to be firm with ourselves. We have to say, no, I am not allowing myself to continue to talk to myself this way. I am not allowing myself to just give up and put on this shirt that I know just is like making me feel frumpy and is dimming my light, or whatever it is. And we have to have that discipline, and we have to have that sort of firmness with ourselves first in order to be kind.
I so agree with you. And before meeting you and kind of going through this closet detox process with you, which did take, thank you for acknowledging my vulnerability there, because it took quite a bit of courage to be like, okay, Paola, that's really cool. You're a wardrobe stylist. Like, sure, come into my house and come into my closet and let me hear your opinion on all my things that I feel not that confident about, right? So it did take some courage and vulnerability there. And what I loved about your process is that even for someone, like me, that has a bit of a anxious tendency brain, you sent me, right, like a way to, here's how to prepare for your closet detox, right? Like, have an area that's for your, what no longer makes you happy, have an area for what you wish to donate, have an area for things that are important to you, or or gifts, but that that don't need to be front and center in your closet anymore, right? And you ask questions like, how do you want to feel when you get dressed, right? You ask really important questions that help to, like you said, reframe how we even think about styling ourselves and our wardrobe. For me, it's literally, I have to cover my body because it's, not culturally inappropriate to to do otherwise, right? I never really put much thought into my outfits or my clothes, for example, right? And I mean, and once you step into entrepreneurship and business, and now your personal brand, or you're the face of your business, kind of what you wear really does matter, right? And we should put probably some thought into it, but from a place of, how does this make me feel? How do I want to feel when I put on my clothes? Do I want to feel, for me, the first answer I gave you was comfort. It's really important for me to feel comfortable in my clothes, right? It's important for me to maybe have a little pop of color, a little quirkiness in there, but to feel that I can be comfortable and calm and confident in my own skin and in my attire. And I used to feel like I don't really have, anyone listening, woman, male, non-binary or otherwise, if you've ever had the feeling of, I don't have anything to wear, you stand in your closet and there's I don't know, hundreds of hangers, but you're I don't know what to wear. I have nothing to wear to this event or to this thing. Paola, our time together, we put together, you put together almost 40 different outfits.
Yeah.
Using my clothes.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a we, because there's an energy exchange that's happening. I mean, and if you're into woo-woo stuff, take that as woo-woo as you want. But if not, I think we all know, again, what we're talking about. And what I mean is, to make it more explicit, for example, at the beginning, like you said, I asked you how you want to feel. With some of my clients, depending on what their personal interests are or whatever, they'll say, oh, I want to feel and look like Victoria Beckham, or I want to look like Olivia, or I want to, whatever it is, right? That wasn't your case. But either way, we were able, based on, and everyone, and I just want to say about comfort. Comfort is important. Comfort is a given. Okay. Now, this is where I want the reframe. I don't think any woman has ever walked into a room and been like, I really hope when I walk in, they notice just how comfortable I am. Or what a good deal I got on this shirt. Right. So, we have, again, in being kind to ourselves and in valuing ourselves, we can really right away start. And you know that we like hit the ground running. We put some clothes together and right away you're like, this is the vibe. So where we weren't talking necessarily about particular style icons, we were just talking about a certain vibe, and we use that to help us assess what we have, right? And that's what makes it, and that's why we're creating it together. And that's why for me, while I have a process that I put in place with everybody, no two closets are the same, because what you're embodying right now, and like usually my clients are in one of two places. They're in a place of transition in their lives. They've gone through something big, either emotionally, relationship-wise, started a new career, physically, they've lost a lot of weight, gained a lot of weight, had some physical issues that they're going through. So that's what I call my transition clients. And that's really when I'm holding their hand as we're moving through out of that phase and into this new phase. Then there are my growth clients. Like I would put you in that category where, they're in a place in their lives where things look like they're going to be a certain way, but we are elevating. We're really stepping into that bigger role, maybe getting a little bit more higher profile or whatever it is. And there's a certain level of like elegance and confidence that comes with that. Now, the way that looks is going to be totally up to you. We're going to create that together. I'm going to guide you, sure, based on some of my expertise and what my eye is that you've entrusted me, but we're creating that together. And then you saw by the end of it, you're going, oh no, Paola, the jacket doesn't go with this. When I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done.
Those are my Virgo controlling tendencies.
That's exactly, I so look forward to that moment, because that shows me that you've not recorded the rules. And that's why the business is called Serious Style. People will meet me and they'll be like, oh no, you're not that serious. Like, we laugh a lot. We have a lot of fun. I try not to make the process heavy at all. But when you look at somebody and you say they have serious style, they just know they're styling and they're editing what they're wearing based on a feeling. So for me, it was really great to witness you get to that point where you knew how to edit what you were wearing based on how you were feeling. And that's a really beautiful experience for me. So that's why I say that we create these things together, and that I appreciate that vulnerability and that openness and just that that back and forth to be able to say like, no, it's like, it's without the jacket, because you're so getting in tune with yourself that you're actually better communicating to me than I can ever communicate to you what your style is.
Yeah, I guess that's ownership, right? Like I did feel by the end, and it's silly because I'm like, I already had ownership. This was all my clothes. I just wasn't aware that I can put them together this way and have all these different outfits with like one jean jacket that I own. I think you put like over a dozen outfits with this one jacket. This is so exciting to me as a minimalist, as a very practical person, very resourceful human. Like having a lot of stuff is overwhelming to me. So I just feel so much better with my closet having been detoxed by you, for me having gotten some really like practical and like a strategy for how to pick out what I'm wearing. So it's so much faster. You're saving me time, which I love. Anyone that saves me time, I love them. So as a busy mom of two, as an entrepreneur, I know that you could, relate as well. And something that I found surprising was how this process of like detoxing old clothes, maybe that had some like either like bad memories attached to it or just didn't feel good, don't have good feeling energy, how detoxing of that, how saying like goodbye to that is actually an act of like self-love and kindness.
Absolutely. Look, one of the biggest things, that's why as you noted in the instructions that I sent, that I say, look, if there are items that you don't want to get rid of for sentimental value, let's designate a spot for them. Let's archive them. Because if you think about, if you just spend, I was working with a therapist that once gave me this exercise, this 3-minute mindfulness exercise. And it was about using a mug, the mug they use in the morning for a cup of coffee. And sort of like going over like, well, how did that mug get into the house? What's the story behind it? And, the exercise actually made me cry. And it pointed out how much, like how you do anything is the way that you do everything. And at the end of that exercise, he had said like, you chose a mug that makes you sad. And like, laugh about it now, but it was like a really weighty thing for me. So in terms of the closet, if you think about, if you're going through hanger after hanger of clothing that you feel judged by because the size is wrong or carries all these memories because they are associated with another time in your life. Of course, by the time you pick that shirt, you're exhausted. You're exhausted. And you're like, and you haven't even started the day yet. And I think that high, and remember we talked about it because you asked me, you're like, Paola, you must be exhausted after all this time. And I said, no, I actually get like, it's hard for me to fall asleep afterwards. And then you messaged me and you said, you're right. You get this rush of energy.
I was like, what is this energy? People, Parker's listening. I do not have a bountiful supply of energy after 9 p.m.-ish. After I put my kids to bed, I'm done. I don't even have phone calls. I don't check email. I don't even respond on social media. Like I'm done to the world after like 9:30, let's say. And the day that we did the closet detox, I was like, just like,
crazy.
And I text my sisters like, this is so weird. I'm excited about clothes. Sound the alarms. This is not me.
That's all very real. I mean, if you think about you're wading through all this stuff and in the back of your mind, you know, it's signaling something to you. And then you have to start your day. And I love that aspect. And it was kind of like not a conscious byproduct. I mean, it was an intuitive one, providing the service that you realize that you eliminate all that judgment out of your closet. And now that those clothes are serving you. Mm-hmm. And what a huge act of kindness that is.
Absolutely.
It's the act of kindness that I get to, you know, do for a living. And to me, and like, so in the bigger picture, in terms of what I offer, is also to eliminate that when we go shopping. You know, that's why, like, if you notice, we were putting a list together and, you know, we were just working on the closet detox, and I still leave you with a list for example, for my 90-day clients or my clients that go shopping with me. We don't just walk into a store and like willy-nilly let like trends and the department stores determine how we're going to look and feel. We know the feeling. We've been through the detox. You've stood in front of the mirror. You told me, Paola, no, this jacket doesn't go. We've done all that. You've had all that ownership. And it's from that place that then we go looking for pieces that are going to serve us, as opposed to, again, allowing ourselves to just feel judged and feel like we're not skinny enough, we're not young enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not trendy enough, whatever it is. And it really becomes like, I think it's just such a joyful shift in regards to something that's really important to all of us.
It really is. It really is a joyful shift. I like that because I've never felt positive about my closet or clothes or getting dressed. Like there's never been like good feelings on that. Literally, like I said, I just understand that we must do this process, something that we've got to do. And I have a 2-year-old who like runs around my house naked all the time. And I'm like, this is obviously my offspring, because he's like, why clothes, Mom? There's no need, you know, and he has to learn. It's important. And then it's the law. And, you know, we can look real nice and put together and look like we have some serious style. So I just really loved the process. So if you're listening, Parkers, and you're someone who like your closet or your clothes or shopping like is a source of stress for you, I understand. And this is the woman that you need to connect with, because I again, was kind of experiencing some anxiety, some stress around this, some like worry. There was a little bit of like shame, like in my own brain, like I had shame tied to my clothes. And this experience was, first, it was fun. It was fun. I did not expect it to be fun. I was like, oh God, now I got to get all this stuff out of my closet and it's going to make a mess and all this stuff. And it was not a mess. And it was like in one day, you could be done with this big like weight off your shoulders. And now I walked into my closet today and I was able to put on, girl, I've changed outfits like 3 times today. And I was like, and I put it there on, and I'm like, I know what to do, right? And I just felt like empowered. I felt empowered. And I'm just so grateful for that experience. I'm grateful for how you choose to be kind to others through your work. And I'm just so grateful that I got to experience it. So thank you. I am a transformed, serious styler now.
Yes, I see it. I love it. And again, I can't thank you enough for inviting me in. It was a wonderful experience for me as well.
If you enjoyed this episode of Time to Be Kind with Marley Q, then tell us about it and share. Whether you're listening on Apple or Google or on YouTube, go ahead and leave a quick review or a comment so that we know that you enjoyed it. And it also helps to amplify our message and our mission to spread kindness worldwide. If you are not a member of our Kind Crew yet, what are you waiting for? It's free, and the party's waiting for you over on our private Facebook group page. Visit marleyq.com/this episode number to find the full transcription, the show notes, the links to connect with Paola and Serious Style, and be able to sign up to join our Kind Crew. Thank you for making this Time to Be Kind with Marley Q. I'll see you next time.
1, 2, 3.